Hey guys, wherever you are in the world, I wish you a good day. I'm in the UK and it's very hot here. So far it's been the hottest day of the year, and yeah, being a bit of a ginger nut, I have stayed inside, apart from going into the gazebo and having a little bit of lunch with a mate of mine earlier on, and chilled a little bit, and here I am now doing this video. Now the reason why I'm doing this video today is because all the planets are in alignment for me on a certain coin which I've had my eye on for some time, and it's about time to invest, as I think that we're about to take off. Don't quote me, but follow me and see what you think. I am new to this YouTube channel scene, whilst I've been in crypto for quite some time now, quite a few years. I'm starting my own channel, and I hope that you enjoy the journey with me. I'm looking to get to 1,000 subscribers so that I can do live TA and do technical analysis on demand. So at the minute, I've only got 50 subs or something, maybe 50 or 60 subs or whatever. So yeah, like the channel, subscribe when you can, and if you've already got loads, then I understand if you're not subscribing, but at least taking the time to watch me today and pressing the like button, that's great. Okay, so my name's Tony, and I'm going to take you through what it is that I've spotted and why it is that I feel things are looking good. I'm on the Theta's website just here. Highly recommend that you watch this video, it's really informative, but for now I'll just take you through the little basic nitties that I am excited about. Theta's got 17-day countdown before their main net 3.0 I should say gets underway, meaning that there's burning going to be happening, and for those of you that don't know what that is, it means that when transactions happen, the fees that are involved in them get burnt, which means they no longer exist in most cases, and therefore the asset becomes the supply becomes less, and therefore becomes more scarce, more or less, and therefore becomes more valuable. So over time, as we're living in a digital age, everything will start to make more money. Most of you will know that, but some of you won't, so I thought I'd throw it into the mix. Okay, so that's what's happening there. The whole concept of Theta, by the way, is just a real quick one, is that they're looking to do graphics for and streaming seamlessly. We are having 8K TVs, which is ridiculous. Not only have you got 8K, but you've also got the sound quality that's going up as well. So instead of us having Dolby Pro Logic, then Dolby Digital, Dolby 5.1, Dolby 11.1, and then you're having, now we've got Atmos coming out, so people have got like Atmos systems. So you've got, whilst graphics take up the most, the whole thing is a package, everything is just increasing. So Theta is a means for us to be able to enjoy seamless streaming. That's the word I was looking for. Okay, so obviously Steve Chen, he says this. He says Theta's innovation is set to disrupt today's online video industry, much the same way that YouTube platform did the traditional video back in 2005. One of our biggest challenges has been the high costs of delivering various video to various parts of the world, and this system is only getting bigger with HD and 4K and higher quality video streams, like I was saying earlier. And Steve Chen, the co-founder of YouTube, says, I'm excited to be part of the next evolution of the streaming space, helping Theta create a decentralized peer-to-peer network that can offer improved video delivery at lower costs. So there you go. So Steve Chen's on it. Brilliant. Great. We've got the backing of YouTube. And then we go down and we look at the nodes. So these are the people that help the bouncing around and the figures to be escalated, and basically the whole system to work, because without the nodes there's no validations, and without the validations there is no transactions. Anyway, so what we've got Google, massive; Sony, massive; Samsung, massive; CA, massive; Binance, massive; blockchain, Massive, on, and there's more as well. Okay, and then obviously in this section here, the news, Bitcoin magazine, we've got Coin Journal, we've got Forbes, Nasdaq. All these are the places. Huffington Post. We've got these are the places that Theta is teaming up with, or that are mentioned in them, or places that were traded, etc. So that's pretty cool. I've already mentioned the burn-in, the transaction increases, blah 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 blah. Okay, so the problem with decentralized coins are poor quality, the skyrocketing data needs, speaking about high K, 8K and higher quality, and centralized and inefficient systems. And then the solution, the way that they're coming about it, turning around and mentioning these platforms just here, they're turning around and saying these are the ways, these are the goals and the ways that they're going to come about overcoming these problems. And they've found the solution: open source platform. So that's it. So yeah, watch the video, because I'm not doing it any justice. But I am not a Theta expert. It's just something that I've come across. Now, so the really cool point, that part of the video is actually, let me just get rid of that for now, and we will just bring off those. Okay. So, Theta. Whenever I trade against Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is where I want to be ultimately. It's less volatile, and I think that if you trade against fiat, it's like a man walking along trying to make his way to the terminal, an aeroplane terminal, and problem is you can only walk at the walking speed. But then you get the next man with his briefcase, and he walks on the escalator that's going along. And he can look back at the guy who, they're walking at the same speed, but because the other guy's on the escalator, he's going faster. Is that we can make our money on trading against fiat, but if we make our money trading against Bitcoin, and we're making more Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going up, Bitcoin becomes like the escalator, if you like. So we'll end up making more money this side of the year. We'll also make more money in 4 years time, and then 4 years after that, and then we can eventually build up our reserves of Bitcoin, which I believe is the future. So that's the reason why I'm looking at this. But the same principles apply, and if you learn any lessons or glean anything from any of this TA that I'm going to go through today, then that's great. I'm really pleased that you can smash the like button, right, and subscribe. I need 1,000 subscribers. Right, okay, so here we go. First thing I'm going to do is turn around and bring up some fibs. I'm going to bring the fibs up. The reason why I'm going to bring the fibs up is because I think that it's important to establish. I think it's important to establish the support and resistance. Okay, and I'm not going to go from there. Actually, I'm going to go from there. The reason why I'm going from there is because I've got a resistance there, and I've got a bounce point there, and I'm going up to the top there. I'm dragging it from left to right as opposed to the other way, because we're still in an upward trend. We're still going that way, and if we were working downtrend, I'd probably drag down from left to right. It's not exactly textbook, but it is working, and they are lining up. We've got support and resistances in the right place. Right, moving forward. Now I've got that, I tend to like move around with my mouse and click things, so I'm just going to lock that so that I don't mess with the video up later on. Okay, so I'm on the daily, and I want to show you that I want to show you the Bollinger Bands first. I think I'm going to bring them on, and I'm just for now, which I'll bring back in a minute. I'm just going to, if I bring that back, where are you? There you are. Right, I'm going to go in, and I'm going to show you where we're sat with regards to the Bollinger Bands. Now, those of you that don't know about the Bollinger Bands, the 20 simple moving average is the red medium line in the Bollinger Bands, and that signifies whether we're in an uptrend or a downtrend. So on right now it says that we wicked in and we kind of closed around about the 20 SMA, and then we closed yesterday above the 20 SMA, and today it looks like we're going to close above the 20 SMA as well. So the Bollinger Band looks good. Now what we get with Bollinger Bands, we've got a couple of things. We've got the squeeze, which is a place of price action where maybe in this case I think it's about roughly 15% or something, from kind of like about there to, sorry guys, what are you doing, Tomes? Right there, bum. So if we go from like, say this red candle here, which is the close, to the top of this one here, we've got, there you go. So there's like been a 10% main. We've had the ups and we've had the downs, but generally speaking we've stuck around about the 10% trading volume area. So this is what I would call a squeeze, and we had a squeeze just here. Normally the longer the squeeze, the bigger the what they call the bulge, which is the volatility. Now the volatility can go obviously one way or the other, whether the bulls or the bears. So we have got, if I draw a trend line, now this isn't anything, what I'm going to do now, this is not a thing, this is a Tony-ism, which is just something that I like to consider. It's not a thing, right? But it's a thing for today's episode, and yeah, okay, so I'm just going to leave that there for a sec. We've had the squeeze, and now we're coming into what's known as the bulge. So if we bring that trend line and stick him to the bottom of this trend line, it'll take us to this point up here where this blue line is. So I'm going to stick that blue line there, and I'm going to lock him in place, and then this one can be removed because it's told us where, if the same size bulge takes place, bear in mind that when this happened, that was as a result because Bitcoin and the dominance, right? But what's about to happen now is going to be a result of the fundamentals that we've just looked at. Okay. So we've got these two candles above the 20 SMA giving us some indication of positive movements. All right, so I'm going to take off the Bollinger Bands now, just to get rid of those. I'm going to bring the VPVR up, which is, just to let you guys know, this is a VPVR is a volume area indicator, so it will tell us how much volume has been traded at that set price. But it changes depending on how much visible range you have. So if you've only got 3 candles in your visible range, let me show you. If I get like 3 candles on the screen, it'll only let me have 5. Then it's only going to give me 5 candles worth of information. So the more I come out, the more it gives me. The more I come out, the more it gives me. The more I come out, the more it gives me, etc. Right? So there's no point in me having all of this, because this is not where we are at the minute. We're all up here. So let's bring that all the way to kind of where it breaks out, and then we get this big red line, which is part of that indicator, and it's called the POC, meaning point of control. So if I just go into there and go to the POC and just make it a dashed line and make it a little bit more opaque so that it's not in your face, then we can kind of see it. So that's there. In fact, one thing I'm going to do while I've got that there is just go into defaults and save actually my inputs. Yeah, inputs. This is something else you'll find. I mean, if the inputs are like at 30, which is what they are as roughly standard, then each one of those candles are massive, and they're not giving you any they're not giving you much accuracy. So if you go into the settings of the VPVR, change the settings. I personally like 150. You can go up to 200 if you want, or 100. Earlier I had 100 and 100, but yeah, so that's that one. Go into there, save as defaults. Now that is going to be my default settings, which means now I've got a lot more collaborated information. Okay, so right now the point of control, which was here, is exactly bringing it back to where it was, exactly where that wick came down a couple of days ago. It's Friday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday. Yeah, so on Friday it came down and it hit the wick of where this VPVR is. So showed me that all of this, the two colours are the buys and the sells, which doesn't really matter. It's not that important. What's important is the amount of trading activity that happened in that area. So this gives me confidence that there is major support here. The fact that we're above the 20 SMA shows me that there's tremendous support here, that we're going in an upward trajectory. Okay, and the fact that there's no bearish divergence in the chart, the RSI and the price action are in harmony with each other. There's no bearish divergence on the charts. There's no hidden. What's that there? That's there, which is the green. That's down here, which is red. So there's nothing on the all that the RSI is doing is following price action. And what that, whilst that doesn't tell me that there's bearish divergence or bullish divergence or hidden or bullish or hidden bearish, what it tells me is that there's nothing that I need to worry about too much when it or that I've covered the bases at looking at divergence. There isn't really much to go on the RSI. We can bring up if I get rid of the RSI just for a second. What is spanner? What was I doing that for? Yeah, get rid of the RSI and just for now bring up the MACD. The MACD is a very similar thing to the RSI from the point of looking at the strength of the coin or the asset. But it's the histogram that you would look at as opposed to the crossing over of different averages. Yeah, basically there's nothing here. Forgetting the lines, which I normally take off. I'm not bothered about those. But looking at the histogram, again, the histogram's following the price action, so there's no divergence that I need to worry about. Okay. Now, coming up, so that VPVR is majorly important to me, and the next thing, which very rarely happens, and this is one for your notepad, is the Ichimoku cloud. Okay, I'm now going to bring that up and show you something else in the settings on here, is that in there you've got something called the lagging span. That's what TradingView call it, fine, but it's actually called the Chiku span. And but the problem is when you look at it all, should we take the fibs off now? Because you've seen that there's the resistance. Now let's leave them on there for a sec. Oh, let's take them off. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to draw a horizontal line from the bottom to the top, from there, and then I'm going to bring another one in, and I'm going to take him. Obviously I don't need to do one of them off the top because I remember that that one can just get deleted. Right, so what was I going with this? Where was I going? Oh yeah, the Ichimoku. So in the Ichimoku cloud, you go into settings, you've got this lagging span, which is called the Chiku span. Now it just makes things messy and difficult, so that's why I was saying if I get rid of the fibs, then we can see the Ichimoku cloud a little clearer and it becomes less complicated. So yeah, now go into settings, take him off, the lagging span off, and there you go, it's a lot more clearer now. Now this is the basic rules. If you can find this on any chart, it doesn't matter whether you're trading forex, indices, crypto, this is a really strong indicator, and I found that more often than not comes true. Whether this works whether you're going short or long, all you've got to do is just reverse everything that I'm saying if you're going to do a short. But when you're going to do a long, this is what's got to happen. Your price action has to be above the cloud. You've got these two lines here. You've got the red line and the blue line. The red line is called the Kijun and the top line is called the Tanken. Now, as long as the Tanken is above the Kijun and the price action is out of the cloud, then that's a buy signal. Yesterday wasn't a buy signal, and the reason why is, just being anal about it, is that the red was still in the cloud, so we could have had a fail come down here, so it wouldn't have been a good entry point. But now we're just there, so we are good to go. And then as this hopefully goes up, we should get a nice big green cloud going up here, and then we can make our move. So it looks like we have got a nice long position that we can put in place. So if we put the long indicator on, and we go from here, and we bring our indicator up to the top of what I was saying isn't a thing, but it's a thing that I like to be a thing. It's going to take some time and some patience, but I do believe that we'll get there. We'll bring this down to where we had that. See where we had that that wick, and it bounced straight off of that. This is where if I bring them fibs back up again, it bounced off of, well, I can't remember, was it the 61 point? I can't remember. But it bounced off of that line there, which was also where the VPVR was, if you remember, and which was just there. So that is a major support. So if I bring that up to where we found the support of everything, then we have a risk of about, let's pull that up and get this right. We have a risk of, yeah, it's bang on. That's there. It's changed now because the video's gone on a little bit longer, because the price has increased from earlier. Then yeah, it's going to take a while. It could even take a few days. But yeah, we got a risk of 7%, but then the gain of 64%. It's a great trade if it plays out. So that's the positives. Now I have to turn around just for what's the word? Just to be fair, to say that should this suggestion that I'm making not play out, I'm going to go from left to right and go up, because we're in a bull trend. Should this not play out, and we bring the VPVR back up again, visible range, then it looks like the next area of support could go down. I mean, there's nothing there. You know, you got this area where, whoa, so it's like here. If I pull him up to where that candle is just there, it kind of just, oh, sorry guys, boom, delete him. What's going on? There we go. Yeah, if I bring him to there, yeah. What am I doing? Is that unlocked? No, it's not locked. What's going on then? Help me, guys. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. So if I stick him in there, which turns out to be perfectly on the 78.6, saying that if it does roll over, then the VPVR is telling us we could go down to the 78.6 worst case scenario. But before going down there, we would, there's plenty of other places we could find support, like the 50% mark, which I don't believe is a Fibonacci number, but it is respected nonetheless. So there we go. All in all, I feel that all the planets are in alignment for a great trade right now. Whether you leverage or whether you just spot, if you're going to do leverage, please make sure that you have your stop loss in place. Please make sure that you don't do too much of a leverage that you get wrecked. I will not be leveraging this trade, but I will be buying a sizable portion, and then I will be selling half on a double, Da Vinci's trick, when we get up to here, and be putting my money into the Bitcoin. So that's my strategy, that's my plan. I hope you've enjoyed the TA today. I don't do things the way that lots of other people do it, but you know what, it's been a long time whilst I've been doing this, and I consistently make money now, rather than when I first started. It took me a couple of years and lots of losses and lots of tears and shouting in the wardrobe and banging on the doors and all the rest of it to get to where I am now. And I don't want people to make the same mistake, so this is why I'm making these videos for the beginners, for the intermediate, and then for the advanced. And then today's TA was just for the beginner. But if there are any questions that you've got, please stick them in the comments. Please like, please subscribe, and join the Discord, of which I will be adding to the description down below, maybe in about half an hour. And that's me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the chat for today. And well, it's not a chat really, it's just a video. But yeah, and I hope that if you do take it, the trade or the buy, that we end up making some money together between us all. Enjoy. And yeah, I've got to say, like I've said before, is I have never been to college and done anything on this trading. All of what I know now is done by tuition videos, which I've subscribed to, and a specific YouTuber called Rockyoutcrop, and I suggest that you Google him. He's amazing. And also Crypto. I watched a lot of his videos at the beginning and used to find him fascinating, looking at his head and shoulders and W patterns and things like this. But there's far more to it than just looking at those patterns. There are so many other facets to look at, like the VPVR, like the visible range, like looking at hidden divergence and bullish divergence and bearish divergence, like understanding the histogram, and this goes on. There's loads of things to look at. One thing that I haven't looked at today with you guys, because the video is dragging on a little bit, are just the points of when you bring the Bollinger Bands up, you look at the volume, and normally when the bulge happens, you'll get a spike. So if I just take him off for a second and take it all off, remove, in fact, if I just double click it, yep, they'll normally be, so if we just open it up, so we had increase in volume here as we went up. So we had a squeeze, no volume during the squeeze, and then it's like the price action started going up, and then we ended up getting an increase in volume as it went up, and then we had a bit of a squeeze, and then when we got the bulge, we had a increase in volume, yeah, and then we had a squeeze, and we had a increase in volume, and then we've just had a squeeze, and at the minute there is no increase in volume because the bulge hasn't fully happened. We've had the squeeze has happened, and the bulge is opening up, but no one's bought in yet. And that, coupled with the 17 days countdown for the 3.0, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Yeah, I think we can get on this bus before it takes off. Bing bong, and then the train goes, and then we go. Cool. All right, guys, I'm out. Like, subscribe, support my channel. Remember that I'm new to this, so there's lots of as I try and speak through everything. Nothing's scripted, and nothing's edited. It's just me speaking out loud, thinking things as I'm going through. But I did notice this earlier and thought I need to release a video on this. So that's it. I'm going to stick this on to YouTube and post it on my Facebook, and let's see what happens. Good luck, and I will speak to you all on the next video. Please join the Discord. You will get access to me in there, and I will speak to you soon. Okay, adios and goodbye.